a lot of times people they're stuck in a thought pattern when they think about how their money is going to come. Some people think job only. Some people think business only. I hear people say a lot, if I have my own business, I'll make all the money in the world. What they don't realize, and this comes from the experience of running a business, is that that same organization that you think will employ people today started out as a very small business that had no structure initially. So before you think about your thoughts becoming income, as a person, you need to think about structure. And be realistic about the fact that money can come from either having a paid job, from having a business, or from doing investments. So having a business is entrepreneurship, and doing investment. Life is always a question of timing. I know that you want to be an entrepreneur. I know that entrepreneurial ideas flow to you very easily. But before you stand up and go and be an entrepreneur, I like what people refer to as mentorships and apprenticeship. The word apprenticeship is a word that people have come to identify with clerical work, handiwork people, but it's a powerful way to build the kind of mindset, to build the kind of credibility that you need to become an entrepreneur. So your money can come from several sources. If you want to be an entrepreneur, one of the structures you need to have is an apprenticeship system that helps you develop yourself to think like an entrepreneur, to get into the circles where entrepreneurs are available so that you can learn from them, and so that you can then begin to build capital, because every entrepreneurial venture needs capital. And when we begin to talk about capital, there are different kinds of capital. You need the capital of people of influence. That's a kind of capital. When people talk about capital, some people think it's all about money. It's not all about. In fact, money is one of the least things you need for your business. Somebody who can lend you the benefit of their philosophy is one of the strongest capitals that you need for you to become an entrepreneur. You need that. You also need money capital. And money capital, you don't always have to raise the money yourself. There are also diverse ways to raise money for your business. Sometimes you could have family and friends. They're still a very credible source. You understand? If you're the daughter of a rich man, who's your daddy? They always say. So somebody can raise money for you in that way. There are also people that can believe in your dreams and your vision and give you seed capital. Right? They're like, oh, I believe in this vision, I'm going to invest in it. There are also investors who can come and be like, what share of your business? If we all know this show they do, The Dragon's Den, these are people who come to pitch their ideas, and then somebody is like, this looks like a good idea. The figures seem to add up. You seem to know what you're doing. You're convincing enough. You're selling a strong vision, and then they invest in your business for a part of the business. So those are investors, So there are different ways. And then when it comes to how do I convert my ideas into money from the angle of a job, I'm telling you, there are some people that are earning crazy money. Some people have locked down their minds in the fact that unless I'm an entrepreneur, I'll not make the kind of money. That is so not true. In fact, to be honest with you, where I am now in my career, I don't want to start a business. Do you understand? Because my career is giving me good money that I can save and I can invest. Because ultimately, you want to be able to build yourself to have multiple streams, right? So, first of all, where do I start? Is making sure that, again, I'm building myself for the kind of sector. When I ask people sometimes, what kind of job do you want? They're like, I'm looking for a job. And then I'm like, what kind of job are you looking for? They're like, any job. Immediately you tell me any job, you've lost me. I can't help myself. I just shut down. I'm like, no, you can't say any job. Even if you want to start from, and sometimes by saying any job, what they mean is that I want to be a receptionist, I want to be an administrator. Even if that's what you want to start with, you must be able to articulate what kind of career you're looking for. The next question I want to ask you is that how much research have you done in that area of career that you're trying to build? Somebody says, I want to become a photographer. Well, can I see your amateur pictures? Who are you listening to? When I look at your contact list, can I see 10 photographers that you're following? What community are you dipping into? What are you listening to? The next thing I want to see is your CV. What platforms are your CV on? Who are you talking to about your job? How many applications have you done this month? I will ask. How many applications have you done? What kind of opportunities for an interview? When you get an interview opportunity, who are you speaking to? What are you reading? What is your reading list? Who are you listening to for a career, to prepare yourself for the career? How long do you want to stay in that? In the next 5 years, what job do you want to do? What are you learning today that is going to help and prepare you for that next level? What certifications are you doing? What qualification are you targeting for? When you talk about qualifications, some people are like, I don't have the money. Have you checked for scholarships? What scholarships platforms are you on? There are people who don't require anything. They give you scholarships. There are people that require something. How are you preparing yourself for that next scholarship that you want? So people have to develop the ability to sit down and ask themselves questions. And you see, questions that you ask yourself must not bring you to a dead end. Every obstacle is an opportunity. So if I get to the point where I need somebody's hand to help me through this door, and that looks like a dead end, an obstacle, what we call an obstacle, what a lot of people do is they throw in the towel. Nobody can take me into this door. But you see, that's another question. Who do I know? Who do I know that knows somebody else? How am I developing the relationship with the person that needs to hold my hand and take me through that door? Right? So you can do it by getting a job. There's so many things that comes with job. You can do it by becoming an entrepreneur, and there's so much that goes into all of these things.